This is not the church of Joseph Smith.
Alrighty, laddies. Travis Wayne Goodsell. Time for your Utah Mormon news update. Our SS troops here in Utah are out on patrol, looking to kill and arrest anyone who dares to walk the streets. There was a SWAT standoff. It ended peacefully. In other words, the guy was arrested. It just really bugs me to have the press in the pocket of the government, which is in the pocket of the church. It just really is, because if you're not familiar with the Middle East, both sides, Israel and Palestine, they both want peace. They both say, we would love to have peace with our brothers. But what do they mean when they say they want peace? And when you realize that they want peace after extermination, then you look at Mormons and the press and our government and the church. Oh, got it. They want to exterminate any anti-Mormons, LDS critics, anti-government, and anti-societal Utah Mormon values. And so you'll hear the news always talking about whether an arrested person is cooperating or not cooperating with officers. No one is to cooperate. We're all supposed to be given our Miranda rights, which means the police need to back off. They're not supposed to be interrogating us. They're not supposed to be trying to coerce us into revealing secrets and whatever. It's the police saying, hey, just to let you know, don't talk, because if you talk, we're going to use it against you. We arrested you because we have enough evidence to lock you up and take you to court. But no, that's not how it's done anymore. So the whole process has been screwed around, especially in alt-right Utah. So understand this, that when the news says code words, that's what they're referring to. And so, so frustrating to live in an authoritarian state when we're supposed to be the free state, the free America, from sea to shining sea. And so the main news, which I'll be putting as my title of the video, apparently the three Nephites are out on patrol, rapturing Mormons. See what I did there? Three Nephites, a Mormon thing, rapture, Christian thing. I merged the two religions together. That's what Mormons want. They want to become Christian. So, Mormons, you need to understand that you're going to have to accept Christian doctrines if you want to become Christian. Nelson's doing it. You follow the prophet, don't you? Even if he tells you to go to hell. There's another video title. Nelson tells Mormons to go to hell. And he did that. I bless you that you may repent. That should have been the title for that one. Oh man. Russell M. Nelson. Mormons to go to hell. Oh man, just hilarious. Okay. Such is the life of authoritarian living. So, Salt Lake County and Salt Lake City are expanding the emergency declarations And they had the audacity, the guy, to say, we're justifying the government for doing this. You don't justify the government when you're a news reporter. Just report the news. Just do it. Don't say, oh, well, by doing this, this means that the funding will be expanded so that more people can be taken care of. Don't justify the government. Hold them accountable. They did it in the beginning so that they would be covered for what they thought the virus would last until. And now expanding it, they've come to realize this is worse than we realized. That's what it was all about. They did it for a certain period of time, and they said, for coronavirus. Then yesterday, that time ran out. They had to expand it if they needed to continue under the emergency declaration. And sure enough, coronavirus was worse than what our imperious leader told us it was when he called it a hoax. So, only one drone diaries, and they're back to drone diaries. Okay. But Logan, Utah, even though it looks like they're showing the campus rather than Logan, but Logan pretty much is the campus. And then they're talking about the missionaries who tested positive on their missions, who are now back in the United States infecting others. We're spreading the virus of Jesus Christ. But they used it as a segue into something else. Let's see. And here's, when Governor Herbert speaks, pay very close attention to the words which he uses, because he always uses political speak when talking to the community, which has resulted in others explaining what he really meant. Like he came out and said, those who have to pay rent will no longer have to pay rent. Not true. He meant to say. And so, yeah, that was a big scandal. And so, here again, he's done it again. But this is a little more underhanded. Governor urges small Utah businesses. So these are your mom and pop stores. The ones that they don't care about. You got to understand that. Small businesses do not communicate to, or do not contribute to society. They're small business. They're petty cash. They don't pay enough in taxes to justify their existence, and so they don't want them in Utah, but they allow them in Utah. And here is another example. He's urging them to apply for loans. Many, which when Governor Herbert says many, he means a few chosen select, elite. Those who are related to the prophets, or government officials, or who are big donators, which doesn't apply to small businesses. And so those are the ones who are going to be forgiven. Notice that they use the word forgiven for loans, a business term, forgiven, a religious term. I know that it's carried over into finance, but to use the word forgiven for loans, just sickening. And then another thing that they're not getting across to people is that we're in a crisis. tomorrow will be another round of millions of layoffs in the United States, which means also Utah. Monday, UTA just let go 200 of their employees as the buses went from 15 minutes to 30 minutes. As I had to walk, because I was like, what's going on? Where are they? Where's the buses? And so we're looking at a major disaster here, an economic collapse. We're in a recession, and it's going on for months, which means we're in a depression. And yet businesses are still trying to make a buck. Trump just fired the guy in charge of the $2 trillion we're supposed to be getting, which means we're not getting it. Trump again screwed over those he owes money to. That's what he does. We all knew it. And I knew it was coming. And those who know Trump knew this was coming. And sure enough, he then did it. We're not getting our money. So you're out of work. You have no check coming. Good luck. You know, and church closed their storehouses. The Utah Food Bank closed after April. And so here Governor Herbert is saying, hey, you small businesses, many of you will be forgiven. Forgiven? Oh, gee, thank you. I'm forgiven. Thank you, Governor Jesus. And this is catastrophic, guys. We're looking at a complete and utter collapse, and nobody cares. They all want to make a buck before they die. And so scammers are out, and the grocery stores are still charging. There is one company that was making liquor who are now making hand sanitizer with their waste product, liquor. It was highly alcoholic, I guess, and great for sanitizer. They're giving it away for free. That's how it's supposed to be done during a crisis. You give your products away for free. And then businesses send the check to the government for the loss that you experienced during the crisis. It's that simple. And so all these medical respirator companies, give them away to the hospitals for free. Testing kits, give them to the doctors who can then have people tested for free. Everything needs to be for free under a crisis. You cannot take advantage of people during a crisis. This is war profiteering. It's pandemic profiteering. And so, yes, the toilet paper, there's not supposed to be a toilet paper crisis. You know, the church in their storehouses, they don't just give out food, they give out sanitation and hygiene. Toilet paper. You could have gotten toilet paper from the church had the church kept open their storehouses and gave it away for free, as they're supposed to during a crisis. That's the whole purpose for the storehouses. They were created during the Great Depression. Now we have the Greater Depression, and they closed. So like I said, they're hinge pointing, or Eyring said it. Thanks, MD, for replying. I haven't read it yet, but I saw that you replied to my question that I had concerning antibodies. Here's another one where a man in hurricane, not hurricane, in Utah, it's hurricane. They need to understand that when they're announcing it on the news. Hurricane. It's Hurricane, Utah. Hurricane. I was corrected. because of my uncle and cousins who lived in Hurricane. But apparently they're under quarantine in Hurricane. I don't think so. I think it's isolation. They need to stay home. It's a stay-home order. But again, the news is continually messing up the difference between isolation and quarantine. Under a stay-home order, we need to isolate ourselves. If we have the virus, we need to quarantine ourselves. There's a big difference between the two. But the guy was out in the community. Better shoot him. So they arrested him and then force tested him. Turns out he didn't have it. Like hell. We're in Nazi Utah. And then here's the power swabs. Apparently, the testing swabs are in short supply as they're not able to test a lot of people. We're only testing 1% in Utah. We've got 3 million in Utah, and there's only been 3,000 approximately. There might be more, or is it 30,000? Let me verify, because if it's 30,000, that's 1%. So it's 0.1% if it's 3,000. Coronavirusutah.gov. Case counts. Yeah, 34,647 have been tested. And then it'll be updated today at 1 p.m., which I'm constantly checking for the updates, as we had 5 deaths the other day after conference. So apparently conference killed off some people. Yeah, 3 million. That's 1%. So yeah, 1% have been tested in Utah. Understand that. So don't get fooled by, 30,000? That's a lot of people. No, it's not. Not compared to 3 million. Like when Oakes was interviewed by the Deseret News, how much do you give in charity? I give an average of about 40 million. Ooh, wow, that's a lot. Compared to 7 billion in the world, that's nothing. Compared to the trillions that they own, that's definitely nothing. It's petty cash. Again, they're not a charity if they're in the 0.00000000000 percentile of charity. Looks like that's it. There's something about auto repair that are on the front lines of coronavirus. Are they the new American heroes? And of course, Little Women. Don't try buying the DVD from Amazon. It'll take years before you get it. They're putting toilet paper customers first. And so, good, they stopped the block thing. So apparently, somebody informed them of my sarcasm for what they were attempting there and stopped it. Thank God. A bright spot on this crisis. Oh, there's Coolito baby. He's being sold into slavery. Alright. I guess it's time to shower and shave. Babylon the Great, which shall fall. Babylon. Can't remember the song. I know that's a song. It's a song lyric, part of the song. Babylon. And I can't find it. It's not showing up with the lyrics search on YouTube. But it's one of those 90s remaking of in America of Europop. Like Mr. President and those other groups. or Babylon. So I can't remember. If anybody knows, please comment. I'd appreciate it. Alrighty. Yeah, so Russell M. Nelson tells Mormons to go to hell. I really want to put that one up here. And while YouTube has fired their employees, they're not checking me as often, except for the conference weekend, which Mormons were brought in just to protect the church. But 3 Nephites rapturing Mormons, that's also a good one too. But I do like the go to hell one. Because I can put Twisted Sister's song in the comments bar in the description.